my rooftop out here. So beautiful. You guys get to see a little bit of my view. Look at the sunset back here. Ah, it's unbelievable. Such a gift to be here. And I wanted to drop in with you guys and talk to you about 11 things that I learned in 2021. As I'm reflecting, there has been so much that I have taken away from this year. Does anyone else agree that 2021 was simultaneously the most agonizing and blissful year in the entire fucking world? Oh my God. I just went through the craziest shit in 2021 and also had the most incredible blessings at the same time. So thumbs up if you agree, because I know I'm not alone in this. The first thing that I learned is that identity alchemy, and I'll go into what that means to me. Identity alchemy catapults me into the right direction. I should say this again. Identity alchemy catapulted me into the right direction, but that wasn't without the deepest fucking work. So, identity alchemy for me has been shifting into an entirely different archetype. Hello, I am 11. I put Lynette Sine on a shelf, or kind of really burned her the fuck down. It was an identity that I showed up in the world as. My parents, named me Lynette Sine, and while there are parts of her still very much online in certain aspects, and I draw on her for certain things, I've really laid her to rest for the time being, and that has been an identity alchemy process, right? Really looking at different things that I identified with that weren't serving my highest, and where I wanted to shift and really allow for further permission, which we'll get to at the end. But yeah, I stepped into an entirely new archetype. So 11 is now a walk-in, alive and well. I'm here. It has been quite a crazy ride, you guys. My God. A lot of shifts have taken place. So I've mourned and grieved even a prior way that I was showing up, right? I mourned almost the loss of Lynette. It was crazy, right? Leading up to last February, so the beginning of last year, I was in a deep death portal. I was like grieving Lynette. It was such a crazy process, and if those of you that have transitioned into a new name or a new identity of any kind, then you would understand and be able to affirm this. It's not for the faint of heart. It is definitely something that catapults you into the right path. And it, like I said, it doesn't go without really deep work. So it's been a lot of self-inquiry and contemplation and meditation and all those things. And I've gotten to know myself and remember different things about who I've always been called to be. And so that's been a beautiful process, but also very painful at the same time. And I'm just, feeling a lot less wobbly. I felt like Neo from the Matrix when I was getting out of, this like new, or I was, oh, look at all the birds. Hi guys. So beautiful, look at them go. Exactly, I was learning how to fly again. And that was quite a process, and it still is. So, I'm coming up to just a year about, in February it'll be that I've been stepping into the world as 11. So, the second thing that I learned is that the darkest nights of the soul are matched with the brightest new dawns. So this year, I not only stepped into a new archetype and did all that death portal, letting go of Lynette, but I also lost a parent. I lost my father. So yeah, my dad passed away on August 19th, 2021. And so it's only been a few short months, and it's been a really deep process of grief. So much has come up. I also legally got divorced. Corey and I's divorce finally went through this year in July. So it's been like July, August. I was like February was the death portal of the Lynette Sine. Had a few months there to just kind of integrate that. And then it was my divorce went through in July. Also was still, there was stuff with Emmy still fading out towards the beginning of the year. Then it was the divorce with Corey, while simultaneously meeting one of the greatest loves of my life, Cameron, who you guys will get to know throughout my journey more, because he's a very deep part of my process. Lost my dad. moved to a new country. I mean, so many different things. So there has been the greatest bliss and pleasure and joy that I've experienced in 2021, simultaneously really deep grief, really interesting. The third thing that I have learned is that following your intuition with radical honesty and expression will cause heads to turn. When you fully step into your highest vibration of truth, when you fully step into radical honesty and expression, a lot of people are going to start looking in your direction and kind of tilting their heads, scratching their heads, and questioning. And that means you're on the right track. Keep going. You're doing the right thing. A lot of times when you continue to be radically honest, it causes people to look inward at themselves. And so that's going to be challenging for others. But that's when you know you're on the right, when you're causing a pattern interrupt in someone, it's good. So with the pronouns thing for me, I'm like, actually, my correct pronouns are they, them. And I watch how people's minds kind of, are like, huh. And it causes inquiry in other people. That's just one example. The fourth thing that I have learned, the greatest loves in your life may not last forever. Love evolves, and you get to allow and release. Wow. I am a hopeless romantic, and I oftentimes think that things are going to last forever. And the truth is that's just not it. Sometimes people are just meant to be in your life for a season, and I tend to white knuckle grip onto ideas and stories and comfortability. And so I've lost some great loves. I've loved really deeply, and I've lost really greatly as well. So that requires risk. And this brings me to my fifth thing that I've learned. My greatest teachers in this human experience come in all different forms. So some of my greatest teachers have been my deepest loves that have been lost, right? I can say that for Corey and for Emmy and for others in my life that I have loved really deeply. They have become my greatest teachers. And people are not only your greatest teachers. So I have had, of course, great mentorship and different people in the human kingdom that have been my greatest teacher. But what I've really integrated over the last couple of years, but really deeply in 2021, is that some of my greatest teachers have been in the plant kingdom. So through plant medicines and different lessons through that shamanic realm, through the fungi kingdom, because that's actually not even in the plant kingdom. So the fungi kingdom is the mushroom mycelium network. Mushrooms have changed my life, both not only just like the cordyceps that are not psychoactive, but magic mushrooms as well, change higher frequency and brain chemistry and mental health. And also the animal kingdom. So you guys got to see the birds that were flying over. Nature, the animal kingdom has really saved me in a really powerful way and allowed me to come back into further presence with nature. And so all of the messages that I received from an animal doesn't just walk into my life and me think nothing of it. My thumbnail for this video is me and a squirrel, and that has allowed me to experience more play. So if you look up the spiritual meaning of what each little animal is there to represent, you'll start to see the messages from on high that spirit is trying to bring into your awareness. So if there's like a mouse, or maybe there's a cat, or maybe it's some sort of bird, look up the meaning of what that animal is, and the chances are there's a really deep lesson there. So the sixth thing that I have learned is grief manifests further grace to be embraced. In my deepest sorrow over this last year, it has allowed for so much grace to be embraced in my life. For me to lean in. I'm usually the strong one in my friend group and in my family, and I've gotten to really lean in and experience being held and just grace to manifest in my life from not only people but situations and just everything. And that has been such a blessing, just to be really nurtured and taken care of. So you don't have to go out this alone. Really learning to lean in and embrace support has been huge for me. The seventh thing that I have learned is that losing a parent opens the door to the inner child work that I have been avoiding. So I've been really connecting back with my inner child, looking at photos and really going into meditations and going back to places in my life where I can connect with my inner child, my childlike self, and really nurturing that little one, that little being, and loving them where they needed to be. And then maybe reparenting myself in the ways that I didn't receive. Again, your parents do your best, but you get to step in and remother and father yourself in the ways that you always desired. And looking to different mentorship has really been helpful. Different people in my life, elders that have helped give me permission to keep stepping into my furthest and most radical expression. Look for those elders or friends or, mentors that can really stand for you and help just guide you and support you and celebrate you. It's important. Yeah, and before I move forward, I feel called to share, losing my father has allowed so much of my femininity that I think I rejected, right? A lot of times we go through rejection of the feminine. So sometimes in this identity alchemy process, you can almost reject the feminine, right? And that's not what I want to do. I want to create balance in my life. So me stepping into this two-spirit or non-binary awareness sometimes people can think it's because I'm rejecting the feminine, but really I'm actually allowing more of my femininity to come online now that I've lost my father, because it allowed me to feel very vulnerable. And so I got to lean into my own masculine, my own inner warrior, but then also into the masculine energies around me that allow me to feel really safe. So that's been really powerful and potent. And also connecting with my dad in the spirit realm and just really doing such deep forgiveness and grace. And forgiveness, grace, compassion is something that has really come online for me. Number 8. Moving to a completely new environment creates the most magical shifts in your life. I have moved to a new country. I now live in Tulum, Mexico, which has taken a little bit of getting used to. I have completely shifted my life. I was living in Los Angeles in a community home with a bunch of people. And you guys wouldn't know this because I haven't been on YouTube as much. I plan on changing that for 2022. I'm working on a little bit of a different way of how I show up. And it's taken some, deep breaks off, and that's been really, really helpful for my mental health. So thank you for understanding and celebrating me and coming over to Instagram and showing up and supporting me over there too. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I've shifted into a completely new country. So I'm learning a new language. Obviously, I don't know, I say obviously, you guys may not know this, but both of my parents are actually ESL, English second language. There we go. I got confused. My parents are both Spanish. And a long story short, but I wasn't raised fully bilingual. My father lost his Spanish when he was younger because of his parents divorcing. And so his mom was the one who spoke, his dad didn't. So all that to say, I am learning Spanish, and I am coming back into deep ancestral roots and just absolutely reveling and enjoying being in Mexico amongst, this community and my people. It feels so good to come back and to be here. And, I was first generation American, and now I'm already here. I'm back here in Mexico, just living in what I find to be bliss. It's bliss for me. It just feels so much slower, and we get our fruits at the local fruit market, and the consumption, I don't have Amazon anymore. I just don't buy as much. My footprint has really diminished. I am very conscious about all the things that I am inputting because it's really just not available mostly. And so it's been a really beautiful shift, and I feel really grateful, because going from a beauty influencer to getting 1 million packages and feeling stressed because of all the stuff, I have diminished myself down to just a few boxes, and that feels really, really good to just be lighter and less anchors. So the 9th thing that I have learned is Being your own pattern interrupt is far less jolting than waiting on the universe to throw you the cosmic brick. What I mean by that is, I have become my own pattern interrupt. Instead of the universe, like I said, throwing the cosmic brick, sometimes in life we aren't getting the lessons, and so the universe kind of pulls the rug from under us, right? And so I learned that very hard lesson in 2019, before all this pandemic hit. The universe kind of pulled the rug, or, again, sent that cosmic brick, and that's when I left my marriage and I left my career and all those things, and I just felt completely leveled. Now what I've done is, when I feel myself feeling a little stagnant, I can feel like I need to just shift out of something, I've been my own pattern interrupt. So I knew, I could feel it in my bones, that I needed to get out of LA. So that's when I moved here, and I just trusted my intuition. And stepping into 11, all of that has just been such deep trust. I've been learning to trust myself and not listen to all the outside forces. So becoming your own pattern interrupt can be far less jolting, because then it's like, oh, cool, I know I need a change, so I'm gonna just create that change, instead of it being so painful later. It's far less jolting, that's for sure. So I encourage that. Shift something, radically shift something that you need to, whether it's something small or larger, whatever you can commit to, that just, maybe it's a new hobby, maybe it's a new community that makes you feel more alive and seen. Maybe it is changing a job, maybe it's a relationship and letting go of something that really isn't serving you. Whatever that is, fill in the blanks. End that relationship, quit the job, move to a new country. Just trust that the universe is going to catch you, because it wants to. The universe wants to show up for you, but sometimes you got to be your own pattern interrupt. Okay, the 10th thing, we're almost done here. The 10th thing that I have learned is that I am far stronger and more qualified in my mission than I can even fathom. So oftentimes I second guess. We all do, right? But I keep reminding myself that I am so much more qualified and stronger than I can even fathom. And so I imagine myself in my highest ascended form, on the back of this big black dragon with green eyes. Again, just making friends with my dragons, my inner shadow, my darkness, call it what you want, right? Not slaying my demons, but befriending them, and just realizing how strong I really am and how supported I am. I just remind myself of that every single day, and that is so helpful. And so I encourage you to also step into that. Last but not least, the 11th thing that I have learned in 2021 is that alter egos allow for the deepest permission and more play. 11 is one of many alter egos that you will continue to see. The real, I don't even know how to put it into words. We'll just say that, right? It's like Taoism. It's like it's unexplainable. It's like this. Ooh, my right ear just started ringing. Just this deep level of awareness that I'm on the right track. And I am so excited for more. I'm sharing my process. It feels vulnerable. I don't have all the answers. I don't claim to ever. I'm just sharing my process, and it is never linear. It's kind of artistic and colorful and radical and sometimes messy. And I love it that way. I'm having a great time because I'm not holding myself to any sort of standard anymore. I get to just be free, and that feels so fucking good. And I'm so grateful here. I feel so much lighter, and Lynette couldn't hang. I needed to really step into something else that was outside of that, and for me that's 11. So I thank you for supporting me and this wild heart of mine. I look forward to so much more sharing with you guys. So I love you. Thank you. I want to hear from you guys what your greatest takeaways of 2021 have been. I know that I might not know you by name or shared space with you in the flesh, but just know that when I meditate and deeply pray for the entire world, I see glimpses of your faces, people that I haven't even fully met yet, and know that we are in such a beautiful, connected soul familia through this Black Mirror experience, through YouTube, through social media. We get to create this little you know, familia and this connection. And I feel so deeply connected to you guys. So thank you for just walking with me. Truly, I am so appreciative, and I realize that there's so much stuff online that you could be paying attention to. So the fact that you landed here is not by accident. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I do. And if you haven't heard it today, I believe in you. So I'm so honored to be able to be one that tells you that, and I mean it. So I believe in you, I believe in us, and all of this, and so it is. 2022. Let's get it, y'all.